Life is full of ups and downs. It's easy when we are doing great. However, how we deal with the lows determines whether we are going to stay down for a long time or we are going to recover fast and become better. There is a saying, the hardest steel goes into the hottest furnace. I do believe that we can always overcome adversities. These adversities can come from challenging childhood, financial, relationship problem, marriage problem, disabilities, or any other forms. I decided that I need to start reaching out and talk to these people who has overcome various adversities and learn from them how they've used these difficulties as a stepping stone, how these difficulties changed their life for the better. I record my conversations with them so that you can also learn from this amazing individual, take notes, and take massive actions to make our life better. This is Rebound Stronger Podcast. Hello again, Rebound Stronger listeners. Today I'm very blessed to have this amazing woman and mother in front of me. She's an author, a speaker, a blogger, and a business owner too. As an author, she has written and published 3 books. The first one is To Baby with Love, A Mother Journey Through Hope, Loss, and Renewal. The second book, Lost and Found, A Mother's Memoir on Finding Faith Through Loss. And the last book, which has been launched on 7th of May 2016, A Gift from Heaven, A Mother's Search for Her Rainbow Baby After the Storms. In her first 2 books, she wrote about her 2 miscarriages, which happened in 2011 and 2012. She's also actively write at her blog,
FeliciaTan22.com.
She owns a design company, Design Workz, and recently founded Art of Life, which advocates living life to its fullest. I really admire her faith in God, especially in His promise, even though things seem to be against the odds. Hi, Felicia. Thank you for sparing your precious times in the midst of busy schedules between work and also taking care of little Titus. Felicia, are you ready to inspire?
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's start with something positive. What are the 3 things you are grateful for at this moment?
The first thing definitely is having my baby boy, that I get to play around with him, and also trying to have a work-life balance. And lastly, I'm still glad that I'm able to work on my passion for my business.
All right. And why you decided to write the books to document your journey?
The first book came about when my husband was actually trying to console me, saying that Dominic will always remain in our mind. And I was thinking, why in our mind, whereby our memory could fail? So, and me being a graphic designer, I can always pen it down or even print it out. And that was why I wrote my first script and subsequently emailed to my publisher. And that's how the first book got published.
Mm-hmm. That is about your the first miscarriage in 2011, yeah?
That's right.
Yeah. So can you share more about the 2 miscarriages you experienced both in 2011 and 2012?
The first miscarriage came about when I was in my second semester. Everything went well throughout the whole process. It's only when I was having my dinner when the water bag burst. In fact, back then I didn't even realize it was the water bag. So I even had a shower before I rushed to A&E, which was definitely a mistake. Subsequently at the A&E, then I realized it was the water bag that burst and my baby boy leg had already protruded out of the water bag. So days later, obviously, he was forced to deliver because I had developed an infection and was having some slight fever. So being in the 23 weeks of gestation, he was too young to survive in the outside world.
Yeah.
So that was what happened in 2011. 2012 was the second pregnancy whereby I actually conceived a twins, thinking that, after having a twins, I could, stop. But again, we did a procedure called cervical clutch in the hope to hold the cervix, because that was the conclusion that we drew from the previous miscarriage.
The first
Yep, thinking that that was the root cause and hope that the procedure could help hold the cervix till full term. But unfortunately, the stitch torn and I bleed. And of course, same thing, I was rushed to A&E and the similar scenario happened again.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry for the two loss you experienced both in 2011 and 2012. Can you share some guidance, maybe based on your experience? What are the maybe tips or for mothers who unfortunately had miscarriage also, maybe how to cope with the painful loss and how we as a family members or friends can support the mother?
I think for mothers who had a miscarriage, the first thing first, most of us would definitely do is self-blame. We will blame that, did we do something wrong? Did we cause pregnancy to end prematurely? But of course, being mothers, we still have the instinct that at the end of the day, we done what we could at our best effort. So the first thing, of course, is to...
Did you blame yourself at
Definitely, yeah.
Definitely.
I was wondering, I went through all the daily routine. Did I miss out anything? Is there any signal that I overlook or anything? So I think the one thing is to come into acceptance that you have done your best, but the accident just happens, and of course we don't know the reason why. But of course it's a long healing process as well. You can't wake up one day and say, oh, I don't self-blame anymore and that's it. Yeah, so there are times whereby you blame yourself and you couldn't move on. So it's okay, but just take time to, let go at least. If you need to cry. If you don't wish to do work, just rest, just let your brain or even your mind rest. It could be a non-fruitful day, but that's all right. Every day you just take a step at a time and go by day, and slowly you realize it is painful still, but of course it takes time also to heal.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, physical pains or physical scars we can see when it's healed, but sometimes emotional, it even takes more time to heal, right?
That's right. That's right.
And I really I really agree with you when you say to accept. So it doesn't mean like ignore or trying to forget, get busy, but to actually accept the loss.
Yeah, of course, that's probably the hardest part. But that's where sometimes family members and friends can help in the process, because sometimes we just don't want to go out, or we just want to laze around in the house. So it helps in terms of family or friends that can, just come by your house, or even to force you to bring you out of the house,
let's
or
have
even
lunch, or
to chat to you, to kill time literally, or just to stay with you, to make sure that you're okay, because that's always the scenario whereby, of course, some people might suffer depression or take it too negatively or things like that. So it does help whereby you have friends that actually keep you occupied as well, keep you sane as well, just to chit chat to you and to help you go day by day.
Okay, so what's your biggest takeaway from the experience?
Definitely is to cherish life, because you realize one day they are just there. Probably the next day they could be gone. So it could be that fast. And also spending time with people that you want to and you love to. So at the end of the day, it's really making time for your priorities. Who are the ones that you really want to spend time with, and really doing that. Not just saying, but not doing. Yep.
Okay, what's your tips in terms of making that priority? You mentioned about priority and making time. So I think we all get distracted with a lot of things, and I'm sure you as a business owner, you even more get distracted with client calls or client requests and so forth.
Yeah, for my case is I try to keep my weekend free. So the weekends is entirely for my families. Of course, yeah, there are clients' appointment or work need to be rushed, but that is on case by case basis. So it's not as frequent. Yeah, and I think it does help even simple things like telling them, oh, you're off work already, or you're on half day leave today, things like that. Because people do understand that, we are human at the end of the day. We can't work 24/7. Yeah, so there are times whereby we have other commitments as well. So I think in that sense, communications does help also to clients or even to your family, and they know that what you are doing and what's the purpose, so they can also understand better, and therefore you can work on spending time with your families and friends too.
Yep, thanks. And you, after the second loss, right? You decided to wait for another year before you try to have a baby again. Could you share more about what's your reason?
Okay, the first reason obviously is to nourish my health back, because after all, it was a twins miscarriage. Therefore, I actually lost quite a fair bit of blood. So, of course, I seek TCM as well, just to spend time, even taking time to rest, because I after 2 miscarriages, I wouldn't want to rush into the third one and end up having a miscarriage again. So I want to make sure that my health, my body is ready, and therefore when the next pregnancy came, I am more prepared, and I'm not worried to say maybe I rushed into it such that my body wasn't ready to receive the pregnancy, and therefore I didn't give it my all to give the best chance for my baby survival as well.
So basically preparing your body to be the best conditions for another pregnancy.
That's right.
Yep. And then 2014 was really busy and challenging years for you, from what I read from your books. Can you share also a little bit about a series of events which happens in 2014?
Yep. Actually, the plan was beginning 2014 was to go through another round of IVF. But of course, for my case is I heard from one of the sermons, and that is to say to obey and listen. So obvious, we listen, but we don't choose to obey. So eventually, I choose to take one more year break, which is in year 2014, to wait upon God's timing for my case. So that's why it is challenging, because we all know that every year you wait, the biological clock works against you. And after having 2 miscarriages, I became a high risk pregnancy if I do have if I'm pregnant. So the question is always time is short, and after being married for 10 years also, you did not conceive naturally. What are your chances of conceiving naturally in this year specifically? So there was all these question marks in my mind as well. But for my case, is since I heard from the sermon and I decided to wait upon him, so I just decided to concentrate on him and not just all the challenges and the problems at hand.
Yeah, that's really interesting, and I can see that you put a lot of faith in God, and allowing God to maybe to be in charge or take controls and deliver His promise at His time. So, can you share more about how do you grow to have that kind of faith? Maybe what's your journey?
For me, I'm very a simple-minded girl. So, of course, I do attend church regularly, and of course, I attend our care cell group. So for us, we have this what we call the time alone with God. So it's a daily prayer that you actually either read the Bible or you actually do worship or, just to spend some time with God. So for me, that's what I did. It's like, to me, it's like I'm reporting work as well. So Monday to Friday, I'll just do time alone with God. Sometimes Saturday, Sunday, I don't do, but at least on 5-day basis. So that's how I took time to read His word. And also for my cases, I told myself if I were to have my third pregnancy, I want to be armed with His word, such that I will not have fear, and I know that He's protecting me. So that's why I'm taking time to understand Him as well. So that's at least what I see. So I mean, I just know to read His word and hope that the rest will turn out fine.
Okay. Yeah. So can you share with the listeners also maybe the happy ending or your journey from the waiting till you have your baby Titus?
Yeah, God really tests my patience because in 2014, that's where I say I wait 1 year. And I only conceived in November 2014. And I was like, God, time is running short. Can you speed up the process? And yeah, I eventually conceived in November. I was like, so late. So in fact, I was wondering, is that the right timing as well? But I believe it is still His timing. So when the pregnancy came, everything was fine. Of course, we did a lot of pre-checks, monitoring, scans, and etc. But what is different from the previous 2 pregnancy was that I was very calm and peaceful at my heart. So, of course, my family members, you can imagine, they are very anxious, a lot of anxiety in their mind. But of course, in contrast, I was the peaceful one, always
I
telling
can imagine
them,
like, don't work so hard.
Yeah. Don't work too much, rest more.
Rest more,
yeah. But I was the one telling them, I'm okay, it's all right. I still need to walk a bit, do a bit things like that. So it is a very big contrast with the previous 2 pregnancies, which I'm very thankful of also. Upon looking back, I realized the 2-year break was a good rest, such that I rest mentally and even physically, such that I'm ready to embrace this pregnancy as well. And therefore, there wasn't so much of a fear, because we all know that sometimes if you have fear or anxiety, it might pass to your unborn baby. So that was also the concern as well. So I'm quite thankful that I was very calm throughout the journey. So therefore, I hope I didn't pass any negative emotions to him.
So Titus was born in 2015, right?
Yes, he was born in June. 23rd June 2015. Also a premature baby at 35 weeks. But we are just glad that he's out and crying loudly. So we are very sure that he was a healthy baby. Of course, he had some initial breathing issue and he stayed in NICU for about a week. But everything went well and he soon outgrew the breathing issues.
Well, I'm pretty sure now life really gets really excited taking care of Titus. What's the most happiest moment so far raising Titus?
For me, of course, I enjoy all the private moments with him. But of course, I do like is that every morning when he wakes up with a big smile on his face, that starts the day. So it sort of like energizes you and you're like ready to go on for the whole day.
All right, let's move on and to talk about a few other things. I want to start also with that's interesting. Your domain, right, is FeliciaTan22.com. And for your company, which focus on your sharing your story or also in giving speech, you choose the domain artoflife22.com. Do you have a particular reasons why you have 22 in your domain names?
Actually, it's because I couldn't get the domain without the number. So I'm forced to, have some either a dash or underscore for it. But obviously that's not what I preferred. So also we belong to the era whereby we use pages and so-called my code number is 22. So I thought for easy convenience sake, I just have a 22 at the back of the domain name.
Okay, cool. That's an interesting reason.
Yeah.
Now you're busy with your business, your maybe promoting your books, your latest books, and also I'm pretty sure Titus takes a lot of your time also, which you happily do. So what other what is your where do you focus your energy at the moment?
Okay, for my case is, of course, I like to have more speaking engagement to empower more women, to share my stories and journey, to let them know that, of course, we do face challenges, roadblocks, or even setbacks in life. But at the end of the day is how your attitude and how you look forward and, put yourself to even to change your lifestyle, just to work on your goals. Because it is hard, of course. Sometimes certain things might, set you off course, but it is really on how you embrace yourself and, how you get up from the fall and still work towards your goal.
So what's your tips for people coming out from the, let's say, the low point or the fall? What do you think is what's the best thing they can do to pick up themselves or six?
For me, I realized it really goes back to the fundamentals. What really makes you happy? If it means that driving, so go and drive. Or if it means to sit along by the seaside, then you can just have one afternoon to sit by the seaside doing nothing. So happiness is not something to be bought. It's really that simple. So really focus on what makes you happy and just go and do it.
Okay. Yep. I think that's a very good tips and then simple and then should be doable for
that's
everybody.
Right, yeah.
Where do you see yourself 5 years from now, Felicia?
I hope to have another baby.
Another baby. Okay.
Yeah. So,
baby girl?
I don't know. I think it might be likely boy, but then again, we never know. So of course, is to still enjoy family and also work. I'm quite a workaholic, so I think with or without kid, I will still want to work. Yeah.
Okay. As an author, right? You published 3 books, and I'm pretty sure you read a lot of books also. If you can share with the listeners maybe the 3 books, what you think is the best book you read so far.
For me, can I say my 3 books?
Yep.
But I would say to recommend books on more personal development. I think it's suitable for everyone.
Yep.
Because we are not we are not fighting with anyone or competing with anyone. At the end of the day, is really self-improvement that we want for each another. So personal development is something is a never endless topic. And it is always about improving yourself, helping yourself and how to, grow as you go day by day. Yeah.
All right. How people can get in touch with you?
They can connect with me by going to my website, www.artoflife22.com. You can always drop me an email through there. Yep.
Yep. Okay, one final question, Felicia. What's your definitions of courage?
Taking the first step after a fall, even you may likely fall again.
Yeah. Thank you, Felicia. I think I really enjoy our conversations. First of all, also thank you for sharing your stories, your miscarriages. I know you have come to acceptance, but it's always not easy to share a sad story, right? And thank you for sharing that, and also for inspiring other women also through your story, through your blogs. I am pretty sure the listeners also enjoy this episode and can pick the tips you have shared in this episode. Thank you so much, Felicia.
Thank you.
And don't forget, you can go to artoflife22.com/shop to get the 3 books which Felicia has published. The first one, To Baby with Love. The second one, Lost and Found. And the third one, A Gift from Heaven, A Mother's Search for Her Rainbow Baby After the Storm. If you haven't already signed up for my Sunday Reflections, I urge you to do so. Every Sunday evening, I sit down and reflect the things I learned throughout the week. This includes interesting lessons I learned from podcast episodes or books I'm reading, events in my personal and professional life, my setbacks, my small wins, what's working and not working in my life. I hope it can give you useful insight and actionable tips which you can implement in the following weeks. It's free and will always be free. So what are you waiting for? Go to reboundstronger.com/Sunday and sign up for Sunday Reflections.